2 of beginner crochet lesson. We went over just the basic stitches last time if you're following along. Unfortunately, I don't have enough followers to create a playlist, but we're working with this. All right, so this week we're learning single crochet. I used the exact same thing. I used a worsted yarn. I used a 5mm, is that correct? 5mm hook. And let's see, half double. I'm going to get it to the beginning. So there we are. Half double. So I did 10 across and 9 up. 9 up so I would end on a front row. And I'll explain how we know that that's front versus back. So we have single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet. And these are American terms, by the way. If you're following and used to British terms, you'll see that this is a double crochet with British. And then I don't know, I think this is a treble. This is double, single, half double, double, and treble. These are all the same. So if we're looking, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stitches, and our row up. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stitches. It's the same for all of them. So it just shows you how much bigger each one goes. I'm going to go over the different stitches just on the same one. I've already started my chain stitches. I did 10, and I'm going to start with a single crochet. So we need a way to get up to the next level. For a single crochet, you just do one more chain stitch, and you're going to work in the next stitch from your hook. So not this one, but the second one. You're just going to go into that. And again, see, I have a habit of doing double. All right, pull through 2, go into the stitch, wrap around, pull through 2, into the stitch. Now when I'm saying going into the stitch, we see that there are 3 areas of the stitches. We've got the top, the bottom, and the back. You can see that back right there. I always go into the top. The reason I like to go in the top, if we go back to look at this, you can see how it just creates a nice rope, and then you can tell the front from the back. The back has that back beading area. And that's how I always keep up with the front versus the back. And then your next question is, how do you count these stitches? How do I know that there's 9? I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How do I know this? This is my front. My front has these little V's. The back has a bead and a little V. V, and it's more upright. It's more upright. This one's upside down, so it looks like little butts. So back, butt, back. And that's how I know. And then I know that I ended up with the front on the last one, so it lays nicely instead of just these little back butts. And you can look at it a little bit easier there, where the back looks like, and the front. So we're going to continue on with our row, and we're going to the top of that stitch. Each one has that 3 parts, and it's really one stitch, but it's got 3 little parts. The top, which I'm going into right here, and this would be if I'm doing a double crochet, a half double, a treble, fans, different stitches as we go along. This one is my last one right here. So that's my last one. And again, when I do single crochet, I'm going to do 1 chain stitch. Now I'm looking at the V's at the top. This time, instead of going into the top, which is going to cause a different fabric look that I want a regular single crochet, I'm going to go under the V. So we're going under that V in that space. And there's a space that's created between each stitch. So going under there and just continuing on with my single crochet. Sorry, I have a habit of doubles. Half doubles are fun, and we're going to actually go to a double before we go to a half double to make the half double make more sense. So that's our single crochet. We need to see what that last stitch looks like. Well, I'm not sure. Did I finish? We can't really tell. I mean, it looks kind of like there's a piece. Let's count. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I know I have 1 more stitch. I know I have 1 more V. It's right there. I'm going to go into that V and finish. Right? Single crochet. And we looked at what the finished product looks like. Single crochet. Now we're going to go to a double crochet. Double crochet is this one right here. Much larger. So this one we need to do 3 up. And this is debatable. Sometimes, like I have a very loose stitch. Sometimes the 3 works better. Sometimes the 2 works better. It just depends. Turn your work. Again, you're going to go into these stitches. Now, which is the next one? Well, you got your chains, and then you got this V. Is that your first V? Yes, that is your first V. So you're not going to do any of the chain stitches you just did. You're going to yarn over, and you're always, remember we had the exercises from last week. Of course it doesn't want to behave. We're crossing in the front and going around, not the other way around. That's going to not create these elegant stitches. So you yarn over, go into the V, pull up a stitch, and we're pulling it up a little bit. Your first leg of that double crochet is going to be longer than our top one. Again, yarn over, pull up a stitch, and you can see this better. Where I've got this kind of loose, this one's looser, and this one is much looser. And we're just going to keep them there. They are not going to be even. And what that does is it creates a more elegant fabric. I'm going to go across, continuing on the same way. I'll slow it down. Down to the end. We are not going to count this row lift. I'm sure there's a more technical term, but for me, it lifts up that row and brings it up. It brings your fabric up to meet it. You're not going to count that one. That is not a single crochet, or not just a crochet stitch. Sorry, just your chains that's lifting it up. And again, this is debatable. A lot of them, sometimes people will count that. But in this case, for simple, basic understanding, we don't count that one. We count the double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We are at 9. We know we have a 10th one. Yarn over. And we're going to finish that off. And again, we're doing a double crochet, American double crochet. 1, 2, 3 to lift that up. And then we're going to finish up this row and go into the half double. Now that you understand a double, the half double will make more sense. For the half double, we can see that it is shorter than the double, right? For obvious reasons. If it's half double, it's going to be half of this, but it is going to be somewhere between a single crochet and a double crochet. For this, we're going to go up 2, 1, 2 to create that row lift. We're going to yarn over just like a double. This is why we had to understand double before we did the half double. We're going to pull up a stitch. Looks so far like a double, but we're going to treat it like it's a single crochet. We're pulling through all 3 on our hook, all 3 loops. Now again, I'm pulling that up just like I did the double. Again, creating a nice, elegant stitch. You're not going to see this in any patterns. This is from my 25 years of experience with crocheting. I have discovered this. Oops. If you miss a stitch, you just do it. You pull it through eventually. You're going to do slow, pulling through all 3. And we notice how we're doing it. We're facing that bead to us. We learned that in the last one. And when we pull it through, we're always bending that head down. Notice the motion. Every time. And it's just going to become second nature, just like with the holding the tension. And it's important to do it this way. It protects your hands from getting fatigued and pain setting in. You can always wear fatigue gloves, and that would be a little bit better. I've never worked with them because I do it like this and I never get fatigued. But some people, they can't help it. So I'm going to continue on to the next row. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to start each one on the front. And again, we know this is the front. Our last stitch to learn for week 2 is the treble. We're not really going to use this for a lot of things, but this is always good to know. Notice how it zigzags. This is not blocked at all to make it nice and structured. And I went over this with my class. It's like, what projects would you do with something like this? This really wouldn't be a blanket. It's got too many holes. You can use it for parts of a blanket, but for a whole blanket, it would be a little bit holey. It would work well for a sweater. Your double crochet is going to be great for a sweater. For a blanket, it's going to go up faster. The half double is going to be more utilitarian, but it also looks great for a sweater, a blanket. This one, the single crochet, might be really tedious and a long process for a blanket. It doesn't have a nice drape. And when I say drape, look at how this dangles. It's kind of more floppy. It wouldn't be for a toy, but this one would be really great for a toy. It'd be great for some applique designs. It's just going to be a really tedious time with a blanket. Look at how much more we can get in the same amount of time, because this is 9, this is 9. This would go up a lot faster. So let's learn how to do our treble. So for the treble, we want to go up 4 times. So we want to do 1, 2, 3, 4. And what do you think about yarning over? We did it once for double. We're going to do it twice for a treble. 1, 2. We go back into the same spot. We bring that up pretty high. We're going to do 1. We're going through 2 each time. 2, 3. Get some more yarn here. I thought I left enough, but this is way higher. 1, 2. Going into that stitch under the V. Pull up a stitch. We're going to bring it up, maybe not all the way to the top because that's kind of a ridiculous leg. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and do that constantly. I only did 1. Constantly. And there's double trebles. You would do that, wrap around 3 times. And you're just getting crazy, adding all those legs to something. But this is your treble for basic. This is useful for, things that you're going to be crossing over. It's going to be useful for the front double crochet. You can do a front treble crochet. So the front double will go into the next line. The treble will go all the way down here. And you can add like flames and different designs that come up. It is so cool. It creates this really cool effect. But it's good to know how to do it. I would start with your basic training on that. Oops, that's a double Manda. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I finally finished this. We've got our single, we've got our doubles, we've got our half doubles, and we've got our trebles. Now how do we end it? To end this, you can either do a chain stitch or not. It depends on your preference, purely on your preference there. And sometimes a pattern will tell you to. I always like to clip it about 5 inches, so I give it a good 5 inches at least. There might be 4, but we can work with that. You've got this, you just pull it all the way through like that. Give it a little tug. And now we're going to tie in the ends. Now this is a trick to just get the yarn in. You take your yarn needle. I love these little gold ones I found on Amazon. You fold it over and just kind of zip it through to give it a point or a sharp edge. And it'll go right through your needle. You find the back of it. Remember, this is the front, so this is the back. You're going to find some stitches. Now with the treble, it's a little bit a little bit trickier. I want to get down here, so I'm just going to kind of guide it down through here, so I can be down where I want to put my stitches in. I'm going to pull that a little bit snug, just so it's nice and tight, but not bending the fabric down. That's what you're doing, is creating fabric. You want to go in a few stitches. It's not coming through the front. Pull that through. Again, not so tight that you're collapsing that corner. Skip over one stitch. Go back through. You can always check your work, make sure it's not poking through the front. Skip over again. And just pull that through. And then clip it. Oh, come on, scissors. You can give that a little tug, it'll hide the end there. And you would do the same for the other side. Just find an area. Usually you want to find an area that's got a bunch of stitches that are usually the butts, because they've got nice legs to work with. And that's how you tie it off.